The best part of last night's Democratic debate? It was great when they shut up. Seriously, they're the crankiest, loudest threesome since Moe, Curly, and Larry. The dumbest trio since rock, paper, scissors. And what did they get us? What did we get from this? An avoidance of national security in favor of attacks on drug companies. In the progressive mind, the bad guys aren't ISIS, but a guy selling Nexium.
There is a responsibility on the part of the pharmaceutical industry and the drug companies who are producing all of these drugs and not looking at the consequence of it. We are paying the highest prices in the world for prescription drugs, getting ripped off.
Look, Bernie, drug salesmen may be greedy, but they aren't cutting people's heads off. But any question about terror ends up being about our own Islamophobia and evil corporations. Terror was about as present as Martin O'Malley's brain matter. Meanwhile, Hillary once again took credit for stuff.
I'm very proud of the Iran nuclear agreement. I was very pleased to be part of what the president put into action when he took office. I was responsible for getting those sanctions imposed, which put the pressure on Iran that brought them to the negotiating table, which resulted in this agreement.
Always at the right place at the right time. She's Forrest Gump without the charm. She should take credit for the new Benghazi flick. After all, her lies led to that. Here's her on drugs.
The policing needs to change. Police officers must be equipped with the antidote to a heroin overdose or an opioid overdose known as Narcan. They should be able to administer it. So should firefighters and others.
So liberals expect so much from the police as they blame them for brutality and racism. And, you know, what if a junkie dies as a police officer tries to help? Then these goons would charge him with murder. Finally, Hillary talks unity.
I would be working in every way that I knew to bring our country together. We do have too much division, too much mean-spiritedness.
But minutes later, she says this.
Looking for ways to protect our rights, especially from the concerted Republican assault on voting rights, on women's rights, on gay rights, on civil rights, on workers' rights. That turning over our White House to the Republicans would be bad for everybody, especially young people.
Of course. She pushes division like a pilled-up math teacher. So this three-legged race stumbled toward the same old finish line of lefty smears. The Dems have gone nose blind. Nose blind usually happens in toilets of old pubs. You adapt to the funk.
Yeah, gross.
Thank you. Now the Dems got it. They can't smell the stench of their own fetid leaders as they push the same old stink all over us. As the media slams the Dems for hiding the debate on a late Sunday night, you got to ask yourself this: can you blame them? Juan, you must feel sick to your stomach. This is your Democratic Party.
Let me just say, that monologue, I don't know where you were going, man, because that was all. I mean,
if that was
intellectually fine,
yeah,
but that analogy, oh, Gregory.
You've never heard of nose blind?
No,
Nose blind happens in sewage facilities. It's when you're around something that stinks, you don't notice anymore. Much like you in the Democratic Party. You can't smell how bad it is.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Oh, no, if that was a scratch and sniff, it'd clear the room. Bad.
But I think it's worth the price of admission, your analogies. I love them.
Oh, yeah. Did you like the debate?
The debate? No, I mean, to me, what was interesting was I wanted to see, you know, Clinton and Sanders go at each other, right?
Yeah.
So, you know what? On the big one, on the Bill Clinton thing, Sanders still can't quite do it. He says, oh, it was deplorable, it was disgraceful the way he treated women or whatever, but he stops right there, and then I saw them whispering to each other off the stage.
Yeah.
But on the big ticket items, the policy items, so here comes Hillary Clinton, who is seeing Sanders catch up and go after Sanders on health care and say, you want single payer, and really, we don't know, one, how to pay for it, and two, you're going to ignore the progress made by Obama. And so she says, you know what? It's Obama is my guy, and I'm going to stand by Obama, and I'm going to stand by Obama.
They made a deal.
Yeah, that's what it looked like.
They made a deal.
Her way to deal with Bernie is to say, you want another term of Obama? Here I am.
Can I follow up on that? Yeah, so Hillary Clinton, by the way, I enjoyed the debate. I liked it. Because I was looking for the same thing. I wanted to see Hillary Clinton and Bernie go at it, and they did, with the exception of Martin O'Malley. Everyone's chiming in and was like, no, Martin, please stop. I'm enjoying this right now. This is great.
I know, bringing your younger brother on a date.
I think
he's in the back seat, and he's like, hey, you could shut up.
Yeah,
Keep your head down.
just let this happen. Let this play out. But Juan is right. Hillary Clinton wrapped herself in an Obama sandwich. She just on Iran, on health care, on Dodd-Frank. I'm going to follow in the footsteps of what Barack Obama started and continue that. If you want more Obama, you might as well vote for Hillary Clinton. The thing about Martin O'Malley, though, right now he's around 5 or 6% in Iowa. This is really important. In the Iowa caucuses, when they finally go to caucus, if Martin O'Malley doesn't hit 15%, whatever he has, if it's 5, 6, or 10%, he doesn't hit the viability threshold of 15%, which means all those caucuses, all those delegates have to go to someone else, to support someone else. That, and if you listen to Martin O'Malley, he was very much in favor of the things Bernie Sanders was saying. So there's a good chance Martin O'Malley's votes or caucuses or whatever you call them will end up in the Bernie Sanders column. That could put Sanders over Clinton.
Oh, Dana.
That could really happen.
Isn't the big problem is that the Democratic debate is so boring compared. It's like comparing elevator music to death metal. No, I mean, if you look at the Republican debate, it's captivating and entertaining. And so when you look at this, it really is like elevator music.
Well, and there's real, you know, the other thing at the Republican debates is that they've been focusing on the most important issue to the American people, which is terrorism. Today, a Gallup poll just came out that said that only 43% of the country is confident in the government being able to protect them in case of a terrorist attack. I also would say this. I think Hillary Clinton made a huge mistake in becoming Secretary of State. I think she should have turned it down. Then she wouldn't have to be the owner of, none of this stuff would have happened with the Russian reset, Benghazi, Libya. She wouldn't have the email problem. She wouldn't have the corruption, appearance of corruption with the Clinton Global Initiative. She could have just gone out and been fresh and new, and instead she's basically having to do what Eric said, which is cloak herself in Obama, and he's not popular.
Yeah. I'm going to play this thought for you, Kimberly. Debbie Wasserman Schultz, you're aware of her.
Yeah.
She denies limiting the exposure of the debate. Let's listen to this.
There's no number of debates that will satisfy everyone. So I did my best to make sure, along with my staff and along with our debate partners, to come up with a schedule that we felt was going to allow to maximize the opportunity for voters to see our candidates. I understand that they've got a reality TV star that is attracting a lot of train wreck. You know you shouldn't watch, but you can't help yourself type interest. We're getting record viewership for our debates, and we've had 3 up to now, and this is our 4th, and that's because voters really care about the issue.
All right, Kimberly, do you buy that? They put it up at Sunday night. There's football. There's a repeat of my show. So you know it was devastating.
No, it's so buried. It's like a bad memory. It was like my junior prom, but it's like long forgot. Here's the deal. Like, she's in trouble already, but guess what? So's her candidate, because this was definitely a concerted effort to try to bury it. But you know who's going to really suffer for this? It's going to be, besides Debbie down the road, it's going to... That's kind of rhyming.
Debbie down the road?
Debbie down the road.
Terrible nickname.
Juan knew her in the 60s.
Yeah.
Juan liked it.
I thought it was terrific.
But it's going to be Hillary Clinton, because she could have, Dana, we were just talking about this, used more debates. She has not been out there. I mean, you have to go to like old B-roll to get the footage of Hillary Clinton, because she's just not out there. She doesn't seem to be out campaigning very much. She's hidden on the weekend. I watched the new show Billions because this was like boring me to death. I mean, I don't know what to tell you, but this is not good for the Democratic Party, and she's behind. I mean, Bernie could beat her.
When President Obama, like the State of the Union, wants to make a speech or something where he wants the American people to see it, he does it during the week, usually on a Tuesday or Wednesday, on 9 o'clock, 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock, not on Saturday.
Yeah, but the networks are compelled to give him that time.
No, they say no.
Okay, they're yelling at me. It's actually getting